Here to go over the top stories of the day is former president of the Victorian Liberal Party, Michael Kroger. Michael, let's start with the pro-Palestinian rally. They gathered outside Anthony Albanese's office this afternoon, accusing the Prime Minister of supporting genocide, and they also accused the US of killing children.
Albanese, you can't hide.
You're supporting genocide.
Albanese, you can't hide.
You're supporting genocide.
When I say Albo, you say blood on your hands. Albo.
Blood on your hands.
Albo.
Blood on your hands.
Israel, USA.
How many kids have you killed today?
Israel, USA.
How many kids have you killed today?
Michael, no one seems to be particularly happy with Anthony Albanese's handling of this. Not the pro-Palestinian supporters. I know there's people within the Jewish community who are not terribly happy. Reportedly, Benjamin Netanyahu isn't taking his calls. How do you see his handling of?
Well, they did speak in the end. Look,
they have spoken.
They have spoken.
Excellent.
He's not Bob Hawke. Let's just say that in relation to Israel. He's not really a believer. We've seen the videos of his, younger Albanese views of things, but.
You say younger, he was an adult.
Well, he's an adult,
He
yeah.
wasn't
But look,
teenager.
he's a socialist left leader of the Labor Party, and as a socialist left leader, we're thankful for small mercies. What I object to, by the way, are these rallies where there's just a neo-Nazi element to these rallies with these people with their signs, from the river to the sea, which is, as we know, calling for the destruction of Israel, the massacre of Jews. So you see most of these rallies, you see these signs there, the Palestinian flag, which is the flag of the Palestine Liberation Organisation, which another terrorist organisation. So these extremists who are there complaining about Israel and America and Australia, goodness me, they're at the wrong office. They should be at the office of the Greens, those clowns.
Well, not quite greens, but another shade of green, teal. So the Teals MPs have disgraced themselves. We had the two who sided with Adam Bant, and now we've got Monique Ryan, the Kooyong Teal, who seems to be really upsetting members of the Jewish community in Kooyong. How do you see her handling of this? She's emphasising that she doesn't have a bias, she just cares about the outcome for children.
Well, Mr Stolinda, the headmaster of Bialik College, was, I'm afraid to say to Monique, he was 100% correct. He was absolutely correct. Her initial statement talking about the suffering in Gaza, how incredibly naive, talking about how it would be harder to have a two-state solution with Hamas now. Well, let me tell you, Monique, there will never be a two-state solution with Hamas and Israel. It's dead. Don't even think about, being harder. It's finished. You cannot have a solution with someone who's on your border who wants to kill you. So, and then just to talk about the suffering in Gaza, if you're writing a statement about the suffering in Gaza, it should be prefaced by saying that all of the suffering in Gaza is being caused because Hamas use individual men and women and children as human shields, and because of that, there are deaths in refugee camps, in hospitals, side hospitals, in apartment blocks. Why? Because Hamas, these cowards, are hiding there. And of course, they put such low value on life. They don't really care if these kids or these people are killed. The more that are killed, the better for Hamas. The better for Hamas.
Well, absolutely. They do use them as human shields.
Yeah,
There's a reason why they put their headquarters, including storing their arms, under a hospital. Correct. You only do that if you want to maximise casualties.
Yeah, and by the way, it was pointed out to me by someone during the week that the Hamas playbook is straight out of the Nazi playbook. Because in World War II, when the Allies were bombing German cities, the Nazis would come out and say, they're bombing civilian targets. And the second thing they did was always deliberately tell their local officials, exaggerate the number of deaths in order to get the sleepy Western press to say, isn't all that terrible what the Allies are doing to German cities. What Hamas are doing, I wouldn't believe a word Hamas says about their deaths.
Look, I'm sure there are.
They're not in the truth business. They're not in the truth business.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't trust Hamas's figures, but I'm sure there are innocent men, women and children who are dying.
No doubt.
But like you said, that's due to Hamas. Now, the New South Wales government is advertising for a $250,000 a year Executive Director for Truth and Healing to help develop and lead an overreaching healing framework and implement existing healing initiatives across Aboriginal Affairs New South Wales. But Michael, don't get any ideas about applying, because this is an Aboriginal-only position with Aboriginality an essential requirement of the role. Is that fair enough? And do we need to have taxpayers fund an executive director for truth and healing?
Well, I think if we're going to have someone, it's probably better if they're of Aboriginal background. But the big question is, do we need one, as you said? And the answer is no. I think Jacinta Price is absolutely right in this stuff. I mean, we need to move forward to try and help those kids, men and women, who are suffering right now, today, tonight, tomorrow. Not continue with the grievance industry that will never close down. This grievance industry will go forever because it needs to perpetuate. So we need to keep talking about grievance and what happened 200 years ago. No, Price is right. It's about working out how we can go forward, not having another 10-year debate about what happened 200 years ago when none of us were alive.
That's it, absolutely. Now, we touched on this last night. Sophie Ellsworth wrote in The Australian about the ABC, their management, they're concerned that they're not sufficiently diverse. They've urged staff to take action to ensure they reflect modern Australia in our content and staff. This is from the Chief Content Officer, Chris Oliver Taylor. He told staff in an email, the reality is we don't have enough colleagues that come from a diverse background joining the ABC, and we need to deliberately make that happen. He doesn't look terribly diverse himself, I've got to say, but... As always with the ABC, the only diversity that they don't care about, in fact...
His opinion.
Diversity of thought, diversity of opinion, that seems to be banned on the ABC.
I read this story and I thought this is some kind of joke. I mean, David, what's his name, who's running the ABC, or allegedly, I mean, I thought he was pulling our leg. We need diversity at the ABC. No, David, we need diversity of opinion, mate. We need some views other than the Green Left on the ABC, as compares, as panellists, etc. If you want diversity, mate, he should have a good look at Q&A, where there is diversity on Q&A. You go from the hard left to the extremely hard left, and even figures of the Labor right are sort of, booed when they come on. So, David Anderson, for goodness sake, mate, you're making a complete fool of yourself. You're embarrassing the national organisation. And to talk about diversity without diversity of opinion is ridiculous.
Well, how can we have this massive media monster? We're talking about more than $1 billion of taxpayer funds going in every single year. And it has a charter. It has, unlike the private media organisations, I forgot how to speak there temporarily, it has a charter it has to fulfil, and it seems to completely ignore that.
Just ignore it.
I mean, can you, off the top of your head, name me just 3 Conservative hosts on their main station?
Yeah, Tom Switzer's on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Radio Nationals, I think.
On radio? No, I'm talking about ABC TV.
Oh, ABC TV? No, of course not.
No? ABC Radio?
ABC Radio, no.
The main? No.
No.
They've got hundreds. Where are the Conservatives? The ABC, where are your Conservatives?
Well, part of the problem...
You want diversity of opinion.
Rita, we've been in government many years and done nothing about it. And when I was on the ABC, we made a lot of appointments to people who also didn't want to do anything about it. So the coalition's really we've only got ourselves to blame for this ongoing mess at the national broadcaster.
It is an ongoing mess, and I've got to say the coalition just seem too gutless to tackle it. They are worried about the backlash, and the ABC just seems to become more and more activist every single year. Michael Kroger, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining me tonight.